This is a guide on gacha machines and arcade games in Japan and how to not do what I did and waste a ton of money on a worthless prize. I'll show you guides on both Japanese claw machines and American claw machines from Round 1, which is an arcade based in Japan and uses Japanese claw machines. Let's go to the hub of anime and Japanese arcades, Akihabara.
The next station is Akihabara.
This is a bit of a different video than normal, but I really do enjoy playing Japanese crane games and wanted to share a bit of my experiences with you all. Especially if you wanted to get started in the Japanese crane game scene, this will help you know what to do and what to avoid. I have the luckiest win in Japanese arcade history. I'll get back to this in a bit. Japan is already filled with gacha machines and arcades everywhere, but Akihabara brings all of that together to make it ultra convenient to spend all your money. So what is a gacha machine? So a gachapon or a gacha machine is essentially a Japanese vending machine. You put in however many 100 yen coins it requires and then you get a prize. The prizes are listed on the front of the machine itself. So Andy's going for Miku or luggage tag Miku. They usually cost anywhere between 300 to, I think the highest I've seen is 1,000 yen, but they're typically in the price range of around 300 to 500 yen. For this, as far as I'm aware, there's no real strategy. It's basically pure luck. All right, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What is it?
I think we got it. We got it.
You got it?
We got it.
No way.
Sick.
Sometimes you can get a bit lucky if the inventory is low and you can see inside the machine and get an idea of what prizes are remaining, but that only helps if the egg container around the prize is clear, but a lot of places do use the opaque ones that you can't see through. But this isn't that easy, so it's not really a strategy. You can find gacha machines of all types giving you prizes that you didn't even know you wanted. We saw ones with PlayStation console keychains, car fob keychains, food related ones, anime themed ones, and a whole lot of other ones. You can even get one of these Bath peanut keychains, which we really wanted to get and ended up getting 2 of the blue cookies and cream ones.
I'll take anything but this weird pink one.
Anything but cherries,
Jubilee almonds. No, thank you.
Alright, there we go.
Moment of truth. Is it cookies and cream? It's cookies and cream. Not bad.
There you go.
Oh, that's actually kind of good.
Oh, it's
The
hilarious.
cookies and cream.
We also got a Koala's March coin pouch, which was really cool and worked out perfectly to hold all of our coins. Alright.
All right. Which one do you want, Mel? What do you say? The pink
The
bottom left?
generic
Oh,
one?
generic one?
Or this one?
Yeah, strawberry's good too. Yeah.
All right.
The bottom one's not too bad
Oh,
either.
wait.
Wait, generic?
Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
got
that
this
one.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, no longer using Ziploc bag. When you win a prize from a gacha machine, it comes in an egg that you open to reveal your prize. And typically, there's a place for you to put these eggs so that you don't have to carry them all around. Because you may end up with a lot of them, and trust me, they take up a lot of space. Anyway, in Akihabara, along with a lot of places in Japan, there are Gachapon stores everywhere, and you will find gacha machines lined up against buildings, in the train station itself, and basically you can't miss it. However, here are a few locations where you can go to find even more of them and even find some pretty unique and special ones. First off, right across the street from the Maid Dreaming Cafe that I went to is the Akihabara Gachapon Hall. This is not a massive place, but it is packed with tons of Gachapon machines from floor to ceiling, and I've heard of people saying that they found unique machines here that they did not find anywhere else in Japan. But just like the machines everywhere else in Japan, you have to get lucky as things do get changed out or can run out of stock. So to be perfectly honest, from my experience, I found better capsule places in other areas of Tokyo rather than in Akihabara itself, which kind of surprised me. The largest gacha location not only in Japan, but in the world is in the Gachapon department store Ikebukuro Sohanten, which has over 3,000 machines. So if you are big on gachas, then you'll want to go there. My personal favorite was a place called Sipla, and I have no idea if that's how you're supposed to actually pronounce it, but that's what I'm going with. This location in Shibuya had over 1,500 machines, and I found it much nicer than the ones in Akihabara. Though I will say that there are a ton of little stores lined with gachas in Akihabara, along with a ton of machines on the sides of the buildings and of the street as you walk, so there are a lot, but it is not as concentrated in one main location. That does mean that you'll have to do a lot of walking around to hopefully find what you're looking for, if you're looking for specific gachas. Okay, now to the actual arcade games. This is where the skill comes in. There are two main types of claw machines in Japan. The 3-prong claw machine, which are more similar to claw machines you may have seen in the USA or elsewhere, and the more Japanese exclusive 2 claw machines, also known as the UFO Catcher. From what I understand about these 3 claw machines, they are designed to win after a certain amount of tries. The claw actually adjusts its grip strength based on how close it is to winning, which some call the payout. So that is why you can have solid, perfect grabs where the claw will lift the item up and then it just drops it. When you are at the payout point, the machine, even with a not perfect grab, will hold tightly onto the prize and bring it all the way to the prize area. So with these, there are no strong strategies here, because without the claw being strong enough on payout level, it will most likely drop your prize. That being said, you can use a little bit of skill depending on the prize itself to get lucky, but that really depends on the prize. Sometimes with the right prize, you can hook onto it using one of the claws.
Wong, how do you always get payout? How is that possible?
Or depending on the size of the prize, sometimes you can get it stuck between 2 of the prongs instead of all 3 and basically get it to carry it over to the prize thing. Or if you can get really, really lucky with a prize that's directly next to the prize chute, it will pick up the prize, and as it drops the prize will hit the little ledge where the chute is and fall into it. So that's just really hoping you get lucky there. You can bring it in your favor if you get lucky and see someone playing a bunch of times on a machine and not winning and walking away. Then you can go in and you are that much closer to the payout win. So the other type of machine is the UFO Catcher, and this is where the fun really begins. I don't claim to be a pro, but I have spent enough time at Japanese arcades to have some sort of understanding of how they work.
Wow.
Though if you have tips and tricks, I'm always open to learning more, so let me know in the comment section down below. There are literal people who have made a career out of mastering these claw machines and winning the prizes and reselling them for more than it took them to win. When I was at an arcade in Japan, I saw a guy with 2 massive, fully packed duffel bags of prizes, each holding probably at least 16 prize boxes. That's insane. Anyway, the UFO Catcher is a 2 claw machine where the claws are opposite each other and they open out and then they close to pick up the item. Some of the footage that you will see here looks absolutely terrible quality, and that is because it is from a Japanese arcade that lets you play remotely online, which is wild, but I'll get more into that later. These machines are typically progression based, meaning that you are designed to win them over time. It is generally not designed for you to win in one try, but rather try after try, you will get closer and closer until you win. This expertly demonstrated by my 20-minute video of me attempting to win this Genshin Impact themed acrylic display. With this machine and the prize I was trying to win, I could tell that the claw wasn't super strong, and honestly, I should have walked away and found a different machine. But I just kept going. And that was the mistake here.
I got a plan now.
So this is a perfect example of tip number 1, know when to walk away. When a machine has just been reset after someone has won, or it has not been touched since it was reset, as in the prize is in basically the starting position, then you generally shouldn't play it. There are a few exceptions where the first move can give you a huge advantage and can make or break your attempt, but usually this isn't the case. Usually in a play or two, you can get a feel for that machine, and you want to find one that gives you the advantage, meaning the claw is on the stronger side, which will make it easier to move the prize around, whereas with a weak claw, it is just near impossible to move it. The goal of these machines is to typically use the claw to push and pull the prize to one side or another. It typically isn't to straight up pick up the prize itself. However, sometimes that is the case. Tip number 2 is to use the sides of the claws and not the middle. The best move is not always the most simple, and you may have to think outside the box. For the prizes with the actual prize box, you typically will want to off-center the claw to the left or to the right to pull the box one way or another, aiming to turn the box to a point where you can pull it off the rails or to a point where you can drop it off the rails. Usually you need to turn it around 90 degrees or so, but if you get lucky from the starting position, you may just be able to pick it up from a certain angle and drop it. These machines are typically a combination of skill and luck, using skill to manipulate the box, while getting lucky with the balance of the box falling in certain ways. There are a ton of different UFO catcher type games, and it's impossible to go through each one of them. But in general, use the off-center claws to push and pull the item around, and you have to think long term because you aren't expected to win right away. So you may have to continuously make small moves, each move getting you closer and closer to the prize. Tip number 3 is to look desperate. Okay, so this may sound strange, but in Japan, the arcade workers actually want you to win and have fun. Can you believe that? So if they see you struggling for a while, they may come and assist you. When they assist, they will often open up the machine itself and reposition the box or the prize in a way that gives you a significant advantage. Sometimes they will put it fairly close to the goal, or even position it in a way that you are just one move away from winning. I found that this tends to happen more with people who are at a certain machine for a while and who are very expressive. I'm not saying this will always work, but it was what I gathered from watching people in the arcades. So be friendly to the staff, because who knows, maybe they'll help you out. You can also ask the staff to reset the machine to the beginning state if you've completely messed up the game and it's at a point where it's just unattainable. There are a lot of different types of machines, including ones that can require more or less skill. There is one where you have to stop the light on a certain spot, and this one can be manipulated and can be pure skill, though you can approach it with pure luck as well. This is pure skill if you can figure out the timing of the machine. And in my experience, they change it every so often, though not on the same day. So if you can figure it out, you can keep winning it consistently for that day. And sometimes it's much easier than others. Now onto a different kind of machine. I have the luckiest win in Japanese arcade history. There is a Japanese arcade game where you drop ping pong balls into a takoyaki tray to try to get it into a specific spot to win the prize. This one is basically pure luck, even more so than the 3 claw machines. There is just no real trick to this. You just have to pick up some ping pong balls and hope that you get lucky. I do have one of the luckiest wins in all history on this game. Check this out. One of the ping pong balls got stuck against the glass. Notice it here. As the scooper picks up the ping pong balls, it knocks some over the top of the container, and one just so happens to fall and hits the ping pong ball that is stuck against the glass, which slows its momentum down just enough and bounces in such a way that it falls right onto the prize spot. Like, what? It's literally perfect. The way this game is designed is that the balls as they fall will almost never land straight onto the prize slot, as they fall with so much momentum that they will bounce all over the place. You have to just get real lucky with how they fall and hope that they collide with each other and slow each other's momentum just enough that you can slowly fill the slots on the tray. And eventually you will have enough slots filled to make the balls bounce in such a way that it goes into the prize slot. But this one was just wild. There are also some games in Japan where you pick up the prize box itself with a 3-pronged claw, which again is based on payout. But this machine that I found in round 1 in Tokyo was particularly funny, as it picked up the prizes and then threw them around the machine, which would bounce around and fall through the prize area. So I played this a few times and won all the prizes in it. There are also these UFO catcher style machines that have grips on them and are designed to pick the prize up and slowly move it closer to the prize area, but this one in particular was configured wrong, where the claw was too strong and held onto the prize very firmly. So I won 3 of these prizes before they caught on and readjusted the claw to make it weaker as they refilled the machine. There are also some other kinds of machines, like the ones where the prize is held on by a rubber band thing and you have to keep pulling at it to knock the prize box out. The main strategy here seems to be to slingshot the box around to get it to wiggle its way out. One technique with these claw machines is to use the head of the claw instead of just using the claws themselves to push down. The head of the claw is stronger and has more pushing power, though something to keep in mind is that with the head and with the claws for that matter, if they are pushing down and they hit something, they will stop. So it's not like you can just use the head of the claw to continuously just push the prize straight down. Again, there are a lot of different types of games and it's really hard to give tips for everything, but in short, they're pretty fun. They are designed for you to win eventually, but my advice is to only play games that look like they are in your favor, as opposed to just playing anything and everything. If you really want something in particular, then make sure you are ready to throw down and invest in that in the event that it's just not going your way. Know when to walk away. And if you are in Akihabara, then you can buy most of these prizes in the stores around the area. So unless you get really lucky, you might actually be saving money from buying the prizes straight up versus playing the arcade itself. But that's no fun. The last thing is something I alluded to earlier. You can play Japanese arcade games online and they ship you the prizes that you win. There are 3 big main sites, with the largest being Toriba. This site has the most amount of machines and prizes, but in my personal opinion, I think it's the biggest scam of the 3. The machines are configured to make it as hard as possible for you to win, and the staff help you far less than on other sites. On Toriba, you do get a free shipment every 7 days. Toriba's shipping is, in my experience, the slowest of all 3 of the sites, and it's not even close. I think it took me around 4 months to get my prize. At that point, I had basically given up on ever getting the prize. The second largest is Claw.jp and has a bit smaller of a prize selection than Toriba, but is still a very diverse set of prizes. Claw.jp has free shipping every 2 weeks after spending around 5,000 yen or more. The catch for Claw.jp's free shipping is that it is slow. It takes on average about a month to 3 months to reach you, whereas their fast shipping takes around 2 weeks. But that costs quite a bit extra. The last site is Tokyo Catch, and personally this is my favorite and the one that I use most frequently. Though it didn't used to be my favorite, but after I realized the value of this site per dollar is better here than the other sites, it quickly became my favorite. Tokyo Catch has the smallest prize pool of all 3 of the sites. Its prize pool still is fairly diverse and has a lot of the major prizes from the other sites as well. It basically has most of the popular items, but eliminates a lot of the small, more unique things. Tokyo Catch's shipping is by far the best because not only is it free on an unlimited amount of items, it's also the fastest for being free shipping. On average from Tokyo Catch, I get my prizes in about 3 weeks. On Tokyo Catch, the prizes in my opinion are fair to play and win. And there is a hard cap at 20 attempts and you can call a staff for help. So that means you don't have to play indefinitely. While on both Toriba and Claw.jp, you technically could play indefinitely. On those sites, the staff do come and help if they see you struggling, but the key thing is that it's if they see you struggling. There's no predetermined limit, and it's basically just if they see it, so you could be playing for a very long time. I've spent quite a bit of time on all 3 of these sites, and the only one that I still use consistently is Tokyo Catch. Though periodically I do check Claw.jp, especially since the prizes do seem to come out a day earlier on that site versus Tokyo Catch, so I'll check Claw.jp to be able to see what's up and coming. I don't even check Toriba anymore. Hopefully this gives you a quick guide on how to play arcade games in Japan and maybe even get some practice ahead of time on the online machines. Personally, I think it's really fun to play, but usually you will come out at a loss if you can't win the prize fairly quickly, and for the most part, you would just be better off buying the prize straight up. But that being said, if you get lucky or find machines that aren't configured properly, that can give you the edge to hopefully make some money. That's it for this video. If you have tips and tricks or arcade stories from these arcades in Japan, let me know in the comments section down below, because honestly, I would love to hear those, and I will see you guys in the next one.